What's the new mantra? Get boosted now. Well, unfortunately, Newcastle can't make any appointments until January because the system doesn't work until then. And really, would anyone have the confidence that Newcastle United, even with the shot in the arm of new recruits, can turn this situation around? They have their second worst points return in history. They have the worst away record in the Premier League. Only Norwich have scored fewer goals, and no one has survived from here. The stats are overwhelming, and so is the emotion of the song that always rings out around Anfield just before kick-off. Tonight, Newcastle face Liverpool with their top scorer on the bench. Liverpool, one of the Premier League standard bearers, top scorers in the league, racking up the most goals after 16 games, more than the club has managed in any season at this stage since 1895. Can Newcastle pass that test? Negative. If they avoid conceding a tsunami of goals, that will be a positive in itself. There's a few positive tests in the Liverpool ranks, which is why Van Dijk and Fabinho are not involved tonight. Alisson is their goalie. Alexander-Arnold, Matip, Konate and Robertson, the back four. Henderson, Thiago and Oxlade-Chamberlain in midfield. Salah, Jota and Mane going forward. For Newcastle United, you heard the headline, Wilson on the bench. Dubravka's their goalie. Manquillo, Lascelles, Cher and Lewis the back four. Murphy, Shelby, Hayden and Fraser. Saint-Maximin and Joe Linton up top. All 22 players and officials, plus those on the sidelines, take the knee and ask once again for racial equality. We're underway. Mickey Gray is alongside me in the commentary box here at Anfield tonight. How do Newcastle avoid one hell of a beating?
Well, I really don't know the answer to that, Sam. I've got to be completely honest with you. I think they've got to get off to a really bright start and try and just make something happen. Try and get into that final third, facing the Kop end, the Geordies in the first 45 minutes. They've got to try and get into positions where it looks like it's going to be Saint-Maximin, from what I can see in front of me right now, who's actually playing through the middle. Whether it switches with Joe Linton as the game goes on, only time is going to tell. But I just think this force of Liverpool, with the full-backs pressing forward, the forward line that we always seem to talk about, they're just going to create an array of opportunities tonight. It's whether this back line of Newcastle can hold on for 95 minutes, and I don't think they personally can.
A minute gone, Liverpool 0, Newcastle 0. You're listening to TalkSport. We have a game on here over on TalkSport 2. Chelsea taking on Everton. You can listen to it via DAB Digital Radio or via our app. Robertson has it left-hand side. Red shirts, red shorts, red socks for Liverpool, attacking the Annie Road end away to our left. They're doing a bit of construction work behind that. It'll be a much bigger stand in the next year or so, away to our left-hand side. Thick orange trim on that kit. Looks hideous. And Newcastle in almost a Manchester City kit, light blue, attacking from left to right, away to our right-hand side. The ball is with Henderson, moving up towards the halfway line. Elegant as always. Plays the ball left towards Thiago, who just motions forward, clips the ball out towards the right, and here's Mo Salah, searching to equal that Jamie Vardy record tonight. Dances into the box, gets it onto his left foot, takes it back to Alexander-Arnold, returns the ball into Salah, then Henderson over the top, down the right channel, looking for Alexander-Arnold again. It's a heavy-volleyed cross towards the far edge of the box, goes out of play. No, it doesn't, because Mane keeps it in, but then it's picked up by Jacob Murphy on the near side. Oh, he gives the ball away cheaply. Jota's in behind, into the penalty area. Murphy had to recover and did brilliantly, and turns the ball out on this near side. But initially, he landed his team in all sorts of bother.
A very lucky boy, Jacob Murphy. I'm just trying to work out Newcastle's system, Sam, because I thought it would have been a flat back four, but it's more like a five. But it's a five on this right-hand side, and it's Jacob Murphy who's playing kind of like a wing-back role. And when they have the ball, you see him trying to press forward. And when he loses it, he's going alongside Manquillo, who's tucked a little bit more in. to make it a 5. But when they are defending, it is a flat back 5. And I think the way that this game is going to play out, we're going to see that a lot, because Newcastle are not going to get out their own half. Got quite fortunate there, Murphy giving the ball away. He cannot do that. You cannot do that with the quality that's around right now.
Liverpool started the week in second. They remain in second, but even with the 7-0 thrashing of Leeds, Manchester City still haven't scored as many goals as Liverpool have. They have a better goal difference as well, something they plan to increase tonight. 3 minutes gone. You're listening to TalkSport. It's Liverpool 0, Newcastle 0, and the ball is on the near touchline with Andrew Robertson. Robertson just puts his foot on the ball, rolls it back to Ibrahima Konate, who's in for Virgil van Dijk tonight, who's out because of a COVID-19 positive test. The ball is out wide right to Salah. He uses the outside of his left boot to curl the ball to the edge of the penalty area. It's repelled by Lascelles, but then Salah's got it back again, weaving his way down the right side at pace, moving towards the angle of the penalty area. He's stopped by Lewis and Joe Linton and moves the ball up in towards Saint-Maximin. Shelby can't head the ball away. Lewis has to come across, and then from the edge of the 18-yard box, Newcastle trying to clear through their captain Lascelles. It breaks on the far side for Oxlade-Chamberlain to tussle with Joel Linton. Joel Linton, I think, has been very good, by the way, since Eddie Howe turned up. Lots of positivity around for him amongst the coaching staff. They want to work with him. He's given the ball away after clearing it to the halfway line. Mane can't control. Manquillo's got it back, and Manquillo just under real pressure, harassed and not in complete control of the ball, just nudges it out of play inadvertently and away for a throw-in to Liverpool. 0-0.
And we're just waiting for that one little bit of quality from Liverpool. A lot of possession very early on in this game. Mo Salah picking the ball up on the right hand side. He had Jamal Lewis like a spinning top. He didn't know what was going on. He span around about 3 or 4 times, but they've got to be on their game, Sam. They really have, these Newcastle defenders, because as soon as they switch off, that's when Liverpool just start to find gaps, and that's when they pounce upon you and start to create the opportunities that they have done pretty much throughout the whole of the season so far. It's
ominous for Newcastle United. Liverpool have already run 4 games by 4 goals or more so far this campaign, which is just 2 fewer than the rest of the league combined. Up towards Saint-Maximin, cut out by Konate, one by Alexander-Arnold onto Oxlade-Chamberlain, who powers forward down the Liverpool right into Salah, who gets into the area on his left foot, tries to take on both Lewis and Joel Linton, who nicks the ball off his toes and then clears it out towards the far side. It doesn't go out of play, it's kept in by Matip, and Liverpool have possession again, just right of the centre circle, attacking the goal away to our left. You're listening to TalkSport. Here is Salah, once again taking on Lewis, knowing he's got the piece of him. Lovely little back heel into Shota, low ball to Lewis from near post, saved by Dubravka, and then hacked away from inside the 6-yard box by the central defender Fabian Schär, and it's out on the far side and away for a throw-in. Lovely, delicious bit of skill by Salah, and Jota maybe will think he should have finished. Confidence at its highest level from a player called Mo Salah, trying back heels in the first 3 or 4 minutes of a football match, knowing that you've got the belief in your manager just to go into that final third and just express yourself. What a lovely back heel that was. If that comes off, I mean, it's a good save in the end from Dubravka. I mean, Salah, he's on the ball again. And he is on to Alexander-Arnold, who flicks it round the corner to Thiago, nods it back to Oxlade-Chamberlain on the edge of the D. Robertson takes it round the corner, back into the D again, on to Thiago, who tries to play it across the middle of the park. It's intercepted by Fraser, and now Saint-Maximin is running on a run down the left-hand side, weaving inside the penalty area, looking for Fraser. In the box is Hayden. His delivery into the box is poor. Comes out to John Joe Shelby, former Liverpool player, shoots into the far corner and scores a brilliant goal from John Joe Shelby from 20 yards out to put Newcastle in front at Anfield. And as if today wasn't weird enough, Newcastle have scored against Liverpool. It's Newcastle 1, Liverpool 0.
I think we're all a little bit shell-shocked in this stadium, aren't we? I mean, what a beautiful finish from John Joe Shelby. Newcastle's only option when they break out of their own half is to try and get Saint-Maximin in a 1v1 situation. Exactly the scenario, a long ball into Saint-Maximin. He gets the better of Konate, a lovely little reverse pass into Fraser's left foot, who puts a nice ball into the area, comes out to the edge of the 18-yard box. If you give John Joe Shelby space in front of the 18-yard area, he is going to take a strike home. We know he's got a wonderful right foot. It's a beautiful goal. It's the perfect start for Newcastle. The way they're set up now, they can make it really hard for Liverpool to break them down. How long they can hang on for, we do not know. but I think everybody's a little bit shocked right now.
I mean, that is a really accurate finish from the edge of the penalty area by John Joe Shelby. You say it was a good ball into the box by Fraser on the left-hand side. It wasn't really, was it? It went straight to Thiago. His clearance was dreadful, Mickey.
Yeah, it was poor. And if you don't clear your lines properly, which Liverpool have not, they're committing that many players forward. Look, every Liverpool player now is in Newcastle's half. So if anybody gets caught in a 1v1 situation, and look, we have to remember Virgil van Dijk is not there to help them out whenever necessary. Konate's come into the team. He was the one who was found out alongside St Maximum in a 1v1 situation. He got the better of him. Defending was poor from Liverpool, but what an outstanding strike from John Joe Shelby.
Oh, it was brilliant, absolutely sensational from John Joe Shelby. His first goal of the season, former Liverpool player, 69 appearances, 7 goals for them. He actually got sent off when he returned here in December 2014 for elbowing Emre Can. He's just elbowed Newcastle into the lead. Here's Mane trying to squeeze through a tight gap. Challenged by Fabian Schär on the edge of the area is a good one. It's picked up by Ryan Fraser, who clips it out towards the left, looking for Lewis. It comes back with interest via Matip onto Henderson. It goes down the right into Mo Salah, who skates into the area. Lovely ball into Mane. Shoots, hits the post, comes back out, and they can't turn it home, Liverpool. The offside flag went up in the end anyway. But it was a wonderful move from Liverpool again. Salah, first time into Mane, who shot across the goalkeeper, hit the inside of the post, came back out into the 6-yard area, by which time the offside flag went up. Over on the far side, it remains Liverpool 0, Newcastle United 1.
Of all the problems that Salah and Mane had last season, not passing to each other, there was a few arguments, we saw it on the field, but I think this season they've came together, Sam, and Salah knows certain situations where he can't take the shot on himself. What a pass with the outside of his foot. Yes, Mane's offside, but just to play that pass in the first place, it's just so audacious, it's unbelievable.
1-0 to the visitors, Newcastle, as Salah comes again down the right-hand side, trying to squeeze between the tightest of gaps between Joel Linton and Lewis, who are both in the left full-back position. Joel Linton gets away with the ball and manages to clear, but it's going to come straight back again from Liverpool, who are the wounded animal after conceding that goal to John Joe Shelby. I mean, to be honest with you, I was really disappointed with the fact that there was so much space on the edge of the area for Shelby, but poor old Alisson couldn't even move, could he? Because it was such an accurate hit, almost into the side netting from John Joe Shelby, inside the post, and that puts Newcastle in front. Here on the left-hand side, the ball is with Thiago, onto Mane. Mane back infield to Matip. Matip across towards Jota, who looks to flick the ball round the corner for Mane. It's smuggled away by Manquillo and up to the halfway line.
Their movement's just fantastic. In that final third, they play the pass because they're so confident that people are on the move, players are on the move, and they know that they expect the ball to come through to them. Just going quickly back to that goal, Sam. What was promising for Newcastle was when they scored the goal, they had 3 players in the 18-yard box and John Joe Shelby on the edge of the 18-yard area. Now, I didn't think we'd see that at all in this game because they're finding it so difficult to get out their own half, never mind score a goal. So that would be promising for Eddie Howe.
The ball is in the arms of the Newcastle goalkeeper Dubravka. Eddie Howe just standing on the edge of the technical area, trying to get his team to push up and away from their own box. Just a bit of news reaching us from Chelsea's Stamford Bridge. Thomas Tuchel confirming ahead of kick-off tonight that Romelu Lukaku, Timo Werner and Callum Hudson-Odoi, all missing from the matchday squad this evening because of a positive test for COVID-19, and the injured Ben Chilwell also testing positive, as well as Mateo Kovacic, who's already out because of COVID. Chelsea versus Everton continues over on TalkSport 2 right now. They are due to play Wolves on Sunday. If it doesn't go ahead, it wouldn't be too much of a surprise, because already today we've lost Manchester United against Brighton. That's off at the weekend. It's supposed to be 12:30 on Saturday. Southampton Brentford has gone. Watford against Crystal Palace has gone. West Ham against Norwich has gone. Everton against Leicester has also gone. And that means that this week, going into the game, we are going to have live commentary on TalkSport 2 of Middlesbrough against Bournemouth. That's a 12:30 kickoff on Saturday lunchtime.
Got a problem here, Sam, with Jamal Lewis. Newcastle again, they picked up the ball, they worked it really well over to the left hand side. They had a 2v1 situation with Fraser and Lewis against Trent Alexander-Arnold, but as he was making the overlap, you could just see him starting to hop along, Lewis, and he went straight to ground. And if this is his hamstring, then there's no way he can continue, and I think Newcastle are going to have to make an early change.
Well, they do have on the bench Kieran Clark, the defender. Matt Ritchie's been playing in that left full-back position. Obviously, the rest of the players that they've got at their disposal are all pretty much forward-thinking players, so it might be Ritchie a straight sub, I think, who would end up coming on for Jamal Lewis should there be a situation that he cannot recover from his injury. Jason Tindall now pointing that out to Matt Ritchie, that there is going to have to be an early change, and after just 13 minutes of this match, Newcastle's plans are going to be disrupted. But they do lead by a goal to nil. The bad news for Newcastle United is that they ain't very good at keeping in front. They can't hang on to leads. They've dropped 14 points from winning positions, and only Leeds United have dropped more than that. Here is Robertson on the near side, the Liverpool left, as they look to try and get back in the game. Liverpool trailed by a goal to nil, courtesy of a strike from John Joe Shelby after just 7 minutes of this match. Here is Thiago, who sticks his chest out, runs forward, plays a square ball into Henderson, spots the runner back Alexander-Arnold on that right-hand side, and then gets his pass all wrong. It's blocked by Fraser, cleared away by Alexander-Arnold, and then back to Henderson, who spreads the play to Robertson, who dabs it down into the area with a decent header back across the face of goal. It's met by Scher and then half cleared, and then Murphy is clattered into by the Scotsman, who's got to be a little bit careful because he'll be suspended if he's booked today, Andrew Robertson. And the free kick is given in the right full-back position, and a chance now for Newcastle to make that change, and Jamal Lewis indeed is going straight down the tunnel, and on comes Matt Ritchie to play at left full-back for Newcastle United, who lead by a goal to nil.
He's played there before. I don't think it's his ideal position.
He's played there all season, to be honest.
Well, he doesn't seem to have done a good job like Newcastle's backline, Sam. You know, they can't keep clean sheets, can they? The strange thing about Newcastle is, as poor as they've been this season, they've not gone 2 games without not scoring a goal. And they've obviously done that tonight again.
Salah racing away as the ball goes over the top of the Newcastle defence. The first test for Ritchie, who's backpedaling here. Salah into the area, plays it against the Scotsman, goes behind and away for a Liverpool corner, the first of the game in front of the Anfield Road end away to our left-hand side. Quite a healthy Newcastle contingent that have come across from the east side of the country to the northwest. Half of the Anfield Road bottom tier taken up by the black and white striped jerseys of the Newcastle travelling support. A corner to be taken then on the far side for Liverpool, who trail here by a goal to nil. They're queuing up on the edge of the area. Matip, Mane, Jota and Konate. Henderson is in there as well. Same towards Konate, whose header towards goal is off target, and it's about 5 yards wide of the left-hand upright. The Brad could stand there and afford to just watch it spruce past his post, and it's away for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. We've played 15 and a half minutes, nearly 16 minutes. You're listening to Talk Sport. Sam Addervase and Mickey Gray tonight at Anfield, watching Liverpool 0, Newcastle United 1 on Talk Sport with Now. And don't forget, with an Now Sports Day membership, you can stream all the Sky Sports action, including Leeds versus Arsenal live this Saturday for just $9.99 without a contract. Search Now Sports. This is Talk Sport. Share. Hooks it high into the air, invites Saint-Maximin to chase, and he gets there up on the edge of the area, causes a problem for Alisson, who didn't know whether to lead with his arms or not. Offside flag had gone up anyway against Saint-Maximin, but that was a little bit of a worry for Alisson because he looked a little indecisive there.
Yeah, he knew he was coming out of the edge of his 18-yard area. It was, should I try and catch this, or do I have to try and clear my lines? It was basically an up and at him for Newcastle and trying to use the pace of Saint-Maximin. But just before that, Liverpool's opportunity from the corner, which fell to Konate at the edge of the 18-yard area. He's got to do better. He has to at least hit the target.
He didn't, and as a result of that, still they trail by a goal to nil. Mane trying to get down the left, has the ball poked off his toes by Manquillo. It goes out for a throw-in halfway between the edge of the 18-yard box and the
byline away to our left. Liverpool on the attack here with Henderson. Back infield it goes. Collected by Thiago, and then back to the edge of the centre circle where Konate has it. All Liverpool pressure at the moment. Just the one counter-attack for Newcastle United so far. A counter-attack that generated the first goal of the game. 18 gone. Here is Alexander-Arnold. Infield to Henderson. Then on to Konate. He's got to the left Thiago, who's starting the 7th game in 8 for Liverpool. Here's Henderson clipping it over the top, and the run from Salah was betwixt and between, and the ball went right through the middle of Jota and Salah and bobbled behind and away for a goal kick away to our left-hand side.
But they're going to have to be patient now, Liverpool, because Newcastle are now going to set up and just make themselves even more difficult to break down, because they're getting everybody behind the ball, as if they weren't going to do that before the game started. But now they've got that goal lead, they now have something to hang on to. There's going to be mistakes. Liverpool are going to get in behind Newcastle at times as to whether they've got that clinical finish to try and get themselves back into this football match.
Here they come again, Jota charging forward, shooting low towards the left corner, into the side netting, goes behind and away for a goal kick. That was a Newcastle United goal kick. Dubravka to take it. Within 4 seconds of him shooting the ball upfield, it was back behind him for another goal kick, because it came back so quickly. The header won by Konate, a poor defensive header in the middle of the park by Cher, compounded it by diving in for a tackle he was never going to make, and then Jota sped clear and shot into the side netting.
Training sessions are made for this, and it's something that a lot of clubs will do, is attack v defence and how you break them down. And I'm sure that Liverpool and the likes of Man City and Chelsea, they work on this a lot, because they know most of the sides that they come up against are always going to get players behind the ball, and it's how you can break them down. Well, they're going to have to be so patient and wait for that little bit of quality.
Well, Liverpool are not a club that let you settle either. They're on you in seconds. They win the ball back higher and more often than anyone else in the league, and they certainly haven't let Newcastle United have the ball. Here is Jota rolling away from Oxlade-Chamberlain, and then playing the ball to the penalty spot, looking for Thiago. Comes back to Henderson, takes a flick off Shelby and goes out on this near side. Mane were allowed to go out for a corner. A corner is what is awarded, and now Liverpool have the chance to cultivate an attack. It's never about if Liverpool score, it's when they will score. They've registered in each of the last 31 games before today. It'll take a superhuman effort to keep this lot out for 90 minutes. Robertson's delivery in towards the back edge of the 6-yard box, half cleared by Joel Linton, back in by Alexander-Arnold. Mane's got it now. Matip wants it central. Jota is there with a header. Brilliant save, comes back to Jota and converted from 3 yards out, and Liverpool are level. Newcastle complaining that there was an infringement in the build-up. I think Lascelles is down, or is it Hayden that's down inside the 18-yard box? Dubravka thinks he was impeded as well. Hayden is still on the floor holding the back of his head. They think the goal should be ruled out, but Liverpool already celebrated, and the scoreboard away to our right says Liverpool 1, Newcastle 1.
Well, you can understand why the Newcastle players are all surrounding the referee, Mike Dean, because there was actually two Newcastle players just outside of the 6-yard area went to ground, but it all stemmed from the opportunity that Liverpool made for themselves. They won it well, they put the ball into the area, they kept it alive, and Diego Jota at the second attempt sticks the ball in the back of the net. Isaac Hayden is still down on the ground now. I don't know if there's a clash of heads. Well, if there is, I just wonder if this does go to VAR, Sam, because the referee, Mike Dean, should have had to stop the game there and then. But as it stands, Liverpool have that equalising goal that we were all expecting to see. But these Newcastle players were so frustrated and angry. They all surrounded Mike Dean to say, why have you not blown your whistle? And why have you not stopped the game before Liverpool have put the ball in the back of the net?
Is the clash of heads, or the clash, whatever it is, that's invoked Hayden to go to ground, not between two Newcastle players?
Well, if you go back to the Manchester United game, when Fred stood on David De Gea's foot, that goal stood. So this is a similar situation.
Unless this is a head injury, and Mike Dean should.
Absolutely, and that's what they spoke about.
The game.
Correct. That's what they talked about in that game. But David De Gea's was an ankle problem, not a head problem. Now, Isaac Hayden is holding on to his head, walking off to the side of the pitch now. Now, if that's a head clash, whether it's his own player or another player from Liverpool, The referee should have stopped that game. And the Liverpool players, let's be honest with you, they should have stopped themselves.
Well, Eddie Howe's going absolutely crackers on the touchline. And Mike Dean is not for the turning. Let's have a look at it again. I mean, there was 3 blue shirts that went towards the ball. The goal's been given. VAR can look at it. Obviously, it's a goal, so goals can always be looked at, and any incidents in the build-up to it can be talked about. It was 2 Newcastle players that sandwiched Isaac Hayden, who then fell on the floor between those 2, Lascelles and Cher. Let's break off because St. Maximin's picked up a loose pass and he's running towards the edge of the area. A right-footed shot towards the far corner. It's saved down low by Allison and punches it away. Well, it will be controversial, that goal, but I think ultimately Mike Dean's made the right decision, hasn't he?
Well, it's down to the Liverpool players' discretion of whether they want to actually kick the ball out of play, because the ball's in play. And it's up to the referee then to blow his whistle and stop it before they score the goal.
Surely. Because it's a head injury. If it is a head injury, then it's down to the referee to stop it, not for the players.
And also, Sam, if Mike Dean has not seen the head clash before the ball has went to the back of the net, is it a linesman? Is it one of the fourth official who has to have a word in his ear? Or is it somebody in Stockley Park who says, look, there's a head clash, blow your whistle, you need to stop the game?
Well, Isaac Hayden is still up and moving, and he's not complaining that he's got some injury that needs to be attended to by a physio now.
But they didn't know that at the time, Sam. You know, that's the way you have to look at it. I understand totally what you're saying, but if it is a bad head clash, he has to stop that game straight away.
Okay, well, I'm sure they'll want to talk about that with Jamie O'Hara and Dean Saunders a little bit later on. 03717 223344. If you're a Newcastle fan, you might have something to say about that equalising goal. It is 1-1. It is Diogo Jota who's been credited with it, and quite rightly so, because he smashed it into the net at the second time of asking. And it's Liverpool 1, Newcastle United 1 here at Anfield. Ball clipped forward by Konate, out towards the far side. It's collected by Ritchie. Ritchie turns and plays it infield, where it's collected by Joe Linton. And then it's a poor pass into Mane, inside the area, goes forward, comes back to Salah. It's 2-1. Brilliant refereeing from Mike Dean. He could have given a penalty. He didn't. He let them play on. And Mo Salah has equalled Jamie Vardy's record for the most goals involvement in consecutive games in the Premier League. What a mistake to make on the edge of the penalty area by the Newcastle defence. Mane and Salah have helped gobble it up, and Shelby, who gave them the lead, have handed the advantage to Liverpool. 25 minutes gone. They were 1-0 down 3 minutes ago. It's now Liverpool 2, Newcastle 1.
Well, a superb finish initially from Mo Salah, and John Joe Shelby is going to get the finger pointed at him. But I have to say, before he received that ball, Joe Linton he's basically thumped a ball into him. He's not given any time to think of what he can do with the ball. The only thing he can do is try and play it back to his goalkeeper. There's a lot of pace on it. Then the defenders of Newcastle are not ready for it. Mane gets himself into the 18-yard box. Should have went down in my eyes. There was contact with his ankles. Full credit to him for staying on his feet. He gets his strike away. The ball then falls back to Mo Salah, and he's not going to miss from there. It's a superb finish from Mo Salah. I mean, the guy is just, he's on fire, isn't he? He's just electric at the moment. But what are Newcastle doing? They haven't got an outlet ball. Joe Linton is dropping so deep, and that pass to John Joe Shelby, if you see it again, Sam, you can't do anything with it. It's ridiculous.
Well, Salah now has scored or assisted in each of the last 15 Premier League games, equalling the Jamie Vardy record of 15 between August and December 2015. It's a great achievement. It's another record that just keep on tumbling whenever Mo Salah enters the field of play. Liverpool 2, Newcastle United 1, and credit should go to Sadio Mane for staying on his feet, because he quite easily could have gone down. He tried to get the shot away. I think the referee did the right thing by not stopping the game and allowing play on. It meant when it spilt to Salah inside the box down the right channel, he could just thump it home, and Newcastle are now 2-1 down after being 1-0 up inside 7 minutes. I told you they weren't very good at holding on to leads.
Well, no, I think we all knew that Newcastle were going to concede today. I just don't think anybody expected them to take the lead in this game, but when they did, at least they had something to hang on to. Now they've got to readdress themselves and say, well, okay, we're behind again, but we've now got to try and think to ourselves, let's try and keep it nice and tight. If we can get an equalising goal before half time, we've then got something to talk about at half-time and how we set up to try and stop Liverpool breaking us down yet again.
Well, Newcastle did concede arguably the worst penalty of last weekend, and there was quite a bit of competition for that when James Maddison went into Jamal Lascelles, and the referee for whatever reason decided to give a penalty, and then the VAR for whatever reason didn't overturn it. They could have given a penalty here but didn't, and as a result of that play on from Mike Dean, Liverpool went and got the goal that has put them in front, 2-1. Here is Robertson, left side of the Newcastle penalty area. Back into Thiago, right-footed ball, picked on by Jota, and then it's cleared away by Cher, but there's no one there to get hold of the ball. And I said to you before, I thought Saint-Maximin and Joelinton would play deep. I didn't realise they were going to play this deep. Jota trying to win the ball down in front of Cher, chests it into the path of Oxlade-Chamberlain, who's crossed towards the far post. He's going to be met by Thiago. It's cleared away by Murphy though, and then Henderson retrieves it 5 yards outside the box, has to retreat, forages out to the left hand side. Shelby goes across with him, he goes past Shelby, gets to the corner flag, makes an angle to give it to Robertson, who whips it into the near post. Not a great delivery, and Manquillo will bring it away. It gives it straight to Konate. Here is Robertson down the left for Henderson, just didn't quite have the precision that was required to feed Jordan Henderson, and it goes away for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. It's currently Liverpool 2, Newcastle United 1. Here are the latest odds from Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage. You can back Liverpool to win at 33-1 on, the draw at 29-1, or back Newcastle to win at 89-1. A few minutes ago, Newcastle were 11-2. Life comes at you fast. That's the odds update, all courtesy of Betfair, where you'll get no cash-out suspensions on match odds and over-under goal markets on football. 18+, begambleaware.org. This is TalkSport, and here's Mickey Gray.
Well, I'm just wondering what Newcastle are going to do to try and turn things around. I mean, Liverpool in the final third have actually been a little bit scrappy from certain games that I've seen this season. We covered one, Sam, when we were here for the Arsenal game, and it was more Arsenal giving the ball away that provided Liverpool with the opportunities, whereas I'm just wondering whether Eddie Howe can maybe change things up. I talked about on the right hand side having Jacob Murphy kind of a wing back, but then tucking into a full back position when they haven't got the ball, but they need an outlet. You mentioned Joelinton and Saint-Maximin. There's only certain times in a game where if you keep bringing everybody back into your own half, it's a matter of time before Newcastle give the ball away, and we know what Liverpool can do when they pick up that ball and they pick up pieces, they find players out of position, and that's when they start to pick you off.
Ball is on the halfway line with Newcastle United, and John Joe Shelby being harassed by Diogo Jota. Manages to scoop the ball back to his goalkeeper, but not before he took it out of play, and it's away for a throw-in on the opposite side of the pitch from us as a result. I just wonder whether or not Oxlade-Chamberlain's just picked up a little injury over on that far side. He's just hobbling away from a challenge. Meanwhile, Liverpool start again. They lead by 2-1 here on TalkSport. I'm pleased we had a match tonight because it's ended up being quite a good one so far, and the first thing that happened in the game was that Newcastle scored, and actually that probably brought Liverpool to life nice and early, didn't it, Mickey?
Well, if it takes a goal to bring Liverpool to life, it seems every single time I watch them play they've already sprung to life. They're just an outstanding team from back to front.
Remember the last time we were here, it was a little confrontation between Arteta and Klopp that brought them to life.
It was indeed, yeah, and it was from a foul, and Arteta started waving his arms around, and then you just heard the crowd after that. It G'd everybody up, and you're right, Liverpool sprung to life that night. Okay.
2-1 to Liverpool. Ball bouncing around in the centre circle. Konate urging his troops forward, anchoring that back four, sends it up to Henderson, who's on the cusp of the centre circle, just left of centre, then on to Mane, a little bit of trickery to get away from Hayden. Hayden pushes him back into the centre field, and now it's picked up by Matip. Good passing from Liverpool to work their way up the pitch. It's in towards Mane from Salah, who tucks it round the corner, comes back to Jota on the volley on the turn over the top. Only narrowly over the top as well from Diogo Jota. A quick fire volley from a ball prodded back in towards him by Henderson, and he thinks he should have done better.
I mean, how do you live with it? The movement, because a manager will set up his team and say to his defenders, stay in your position. If one of the Liverpool players comes into your position, that is your man. You pick your man up. But the Newcastle players are looking left and right so many times. They don't know where these runners are coming from, whether it's Oxlade-Chamberlain, Henderson from midfield, Jota, driving through the middle in between the two centre-halves, or the ball goes out wide to Mane or Salah. It's fantastic to watch how Jurgen Klopp sets his team up and knows whoever he's playing against, they're going to get opportunities to break teams down.
Ball cleared away by Dubravka under pressure from Thiago. The ball breaks in the middle of the Liverpool half. It's gathered all the way back to Alexander-Arnold. And it is a tussle at the top of the Premier League for who can fight for the title. Chelsea have fallen off the pace in recent weeks. Liverpool and Manchester City have got on the horse and been rather relentless right the way through the season. They had to play catch-up to Chelsea at the beginning of the campaign, but they've overtaken them. Here's Mane into the centre from Salah's ball. A lovely ball with the outside of his boot, which he couldn't quite convert because of the retreating Fabian Schär. He tucked it over the top, and it's out for another corner. Half-time in the game at Stamford Bridge, and it is 0-0 over on TalkSport 2. Mickey Gray.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Some of the play from Liverpool, they play it out to Mo Salah. Well, I'm left-footed, and he's just tried an outside of the foot cross, first time on the half volley, which nearly fell to, I think it was Mane. It's just brilliant.
Lovely delivery by Robertson from the corner. He's half-headed away, but comes back towards Oxlade-Chamberlain, whose volley is well over the top of the crossbar and well beyond giving any of the Liverpool supporters hope that might nestle between the posts. He hasn't scored for a little while. Only goals in 2 years came against Burnley in May. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, the England international, played as a false nine at the weekend, sort of. No Jota because he had a knock. Firmino wasn't available, no Origi. So Oxlade-Chamberlain was deployed a little bit further up the park. Jota is back there today and he's already on the score sheet, and Firmino's on the bench. Oh, lovely ball by Oxlade-Chamberlain straight to Salah, who's racing in behind the defence, goes beyond the last defender and then miscues his finish and bobbles it wide of the left hand upright as he looks at it, and it goes behind for a goal kick. It's a massive let-off for Newcastle United. That was an easy ball over the top of a high defence, and Salah went racing in beyond the last defender. The angle was brilliant for him. Everything about it seemed to scream goal, but he misfired.
I think the only thing that's surprising is Mo Salah missed the target. What a pass from Oxlade-Chamberlain. One thought in his mind, the ball's coming over the top of his shoulder, played it first time over the back line of Newcastle, and again Liverpool players are on the front foot before the pass is even made, because they know that's what the manager wants. He wants them to stretch the pitch and use the pace and the quality they've got in that final third, so they're on the move straight away. It's fantastic. Great play from Salah, but again, I'm really surprised he's missed the target.
Well, he has hit it once tonight, and that's why Liverpool lead by 2-1. We've got 10 minutes before the break. You're listening to Talk Sport. Over on Talk Sport 2, it's Chelsea against Everton. Here is Mane taking the ball towards the left-hand side, but he's tackled, but it comes back to Thiago, clips it wide to Robertson, which was the initial intended target, back to central midfield, and Henderson, who delivers a deep ball towards the far post, looking for Salah, who's being watched by Ritchie, who gets in front of the Egyptian and guides it behind and away for another corner to Liverpool, who are relentless. They don't stop. They continue to pressurise you constantly. Newcastle have to be diligent now to ensure that they don't go in further behind, and especially diligent from corners, because before this round of matches nobody had scored more goals from corners than Liverpool. They have one over on the far side, and it's taken by Alexander-Arnold into the centre, headed away, comes back to the edge of the box, collected by Salah once again. Then it's via Robertson to Oxlade-Chamberlain, who clips it down the right. Too heavy for Alexander-Arnold, but he anticipated what the Newcastle defender Fraser was going to do. He's going to head it clear, so he backed off, waited for the second ball, and then sent it back again. Here they come with Thiago. His square pass is deflected by Shelby. Newcastle have it momentarily, but you get the feeling they won't have it for very long as Dubravka tries to get the ball out towards the far side, being closed down by Mane, and it's out for a throw-in level with the edge of the penalty area. I mean, honestly, they're trapped, aren't they?
They lose the ball. Newcastle go and get out their own half. The ball ends up going back to Dubravka in the Newcastle goal. Mane, Jota and Salah are all on the front foot, closing down to put the goalkeeper under pressure. He's got one thing he can do, is try and play the ball out to the left hand side. it's impossible for them to get out, Sam. There's nobody in the Liverpool half to try and hold the ball up for them. When it does go up there, if that striker, whether it's Sam Maximum or Joe Linton, gets their first touch wrong, then Liverpool win the ball back and they're on the front foot yet again. It's just relentless.
Newcastle's only winner in the Premier League at Anfield was 2-0 in the first ever Premier League meeting here in 1994. Rob Lee and Andy Cole score for Kevin Keegan's visitors that day against Roy Evans' Liverpool. How they would love to have players of that quality in their team today. 8 to go before half-time. Henderson forward. Robertson trying to get round the back. Stabbed away by Murphy, who watched him all the way. Comes back as far as Henderson. I don't think that the ball has been out of the Newcastle half for about 10 minutes. Here is Henderson. On to Jota. Jota dropping deep and now running towards the edge of the box. Gets a return from Robertson. Back out to the left and Mane. Mane trying to clip it onto his right foot to get a cross in. Can't do so. Goes back to Henderson. They'll just switch sides, Liverpool, and change the angle of the attack. Matip comes forward. Well, he hasn't got anything to do at the back. Plays it out towards the right. Gives it to Salah. Salah back to Alexander-Arnold, who sweeps it away from Joel Linton. Bit of space for Henderson to produce a cross, headed firmly away by Share, but back to Henderson straight away. And now in the midway point of the Newcastle half, Liverpool come forward again. Out wide it goes, on to Salah, who skates up towards Fraser, plays a ball into Thiago, looks for the return, a slide tackle comes in from Fraser, hooks it out. It's away for a corner over on the far side. It remains Liverpool 2, Newcastle United 1.
You don't see one Liverpool player admiring the pass, even if it's a cross going into the 18-yard area. After they've played the ball, they always seem to be on the move. What they're doing this evening in this game really clever is they're playing the ball through the middle from the centre circle and they make the Newcastle defend narrow. As soon as you do that, there's so much space out wide for the two wide players.
Here's the corner in towards Mane. It's away by Joel Linton and out to the far side. Mohamed Salah's now got 24 Premier League goal involvements this season, 15 goals, 9 assists in Premier League history. Only Alan Shearer in 1994-95 has registered more before Christmas in a single campaign. And he had 25. Well, there's a few games to go before Christmas, hopefully. Here's Henderson on the near side. Looking up, trying to play the ball forward. Salah makes a run, then goes back to Matip instead. Alexander-Arnold round the corner, and now Salah is chasing. Across goes Joel Linton. He's fouled by Salah. It's going to be a free kick to Newcastle inside their own penalty area. And Newcastle have taken 5 points from 5 games under Eddie Howe. There had been small signs of improvement, or at least there were until Sunday's aberration against Leicester City, and they started this game in the perfect way, getting the early goal. But it was always going to be a task to set up in a way where you're just trying to soak up pressure and not have an outball.
Two ways you can look at it, Sam. Is there a wrong time to ever score a goal? Well, no, there's not. But if you score early, it then gives Liverpool the opportunity to get themselves back into the game, which they have done. Or Eddie Howe's probably thinking in the back of his mind, if we can keep this nice and tight for, let's say, 70-75 minutes, then I've got the opportunity to have a look at my bench and look at the people like Callum Wilson, Almiron, to try and actually nick the game 1-0. Well, that hasn't played into their hands because they've sprung them to life, as you mentioned before. Salah
into Jota. Jota is dispossessed on the edge of the D by Hayden, dropping deep. It breaks in midfield for Fraser, who tries to turn it around the corner for Manquillo, who was the furthest forward in Newcastle colours, the right full-back. And it was cleared away eventually by Liverpool. Robertson getting there and then Alisson kicking clear. Thiago. The ball is actually in the Liverpool half of the field for the first time in a while, though. Here is Salah, though, very quickly on to Alexander-Arnold with a cute back heel. Alexander-Arnold back to Oxlade-Chamberlain. Square to Henderson. The middle of the Newcastle half. They keep coming forward again. 42 on the clock. 0-0 Chelsea-Everton over on TalkSport 2. By the way, Chelsea without some key players, but Everton without a lot more. Here is Salah down the right, trying to jink between Joel Linton and Fraser, and the ball goes out of play over on the far side. It's away for a throw-in to Liverpool. Thrown in by Alexander-Arnold to Oxlade-Chamberlain, then back to the halfway line and Matip. Infield it goes to Henderson. How tiring must this be for the Newcastle players, just to see the ball in front of them all the time? Mane wins it off Hayden after he had it for about 3 seconds. Into Alexander-Arnold, onto Salah, nods it back, looking for Alexander-Arnold. It's swept back in by Matip after half clear by Newcastle. Comes back to Robertson. It just doesn't stop coming their way. Here is Thiago round the back for Salah, stretching for it. Decided not to stretch too hard. Didn't want to ping that hamstring as it dropped over the top of the Newcastle defence and over his shoulder. It was too heavy and it runs behind and away for a goal kick away to our left-hand side.
When you talk about tiredness, Sam, it's not the body that's tired. It's just mentally draining for the players, the concentration as a defender, because you know you're playing against one of the top sides in the Premier League. They've stayed switched on, not just for 45 minutes, but for 95 minutes. And they're waiting for that moment when your brain says to you, I've had enough. I need a rest. I need a little break. I need to readdress in my head what I'm actually supposed to be doing in this football match. That's what the Newcastle players are thinking to themselves now, because they're no less fitter than what Liverpool are. It's just when you're chasing around that ball for the whole of the first half, your mind keeps playing games with you and saying, well, what am I doing? I'm here to play football, but I can't actually get anywhere near the ball itself.
Saint-Maximin trying to play a bit of football, runs halfway through the Liverpool half, gets to the right edge of the area, still going. Saint-Maximin centres the ball. It's a clutch of red shirts that stop it, and the last one to do so was Henderson, and Liverpool bring it clear. And now, having overcommitted going the other way, now they've got to get it back into shape, Newcastle United, because the red arrows are coming forward. Mane sweeps it out brilliantly towards the right. It's on to Salah, who runs at Ritchie. He's got inside him Fraser. He chips the ball towards Mane, who's inside the box. It's headed away by Cher. Mane will keep it alive. Robertson is alongside him. Mane toying with Manquillo. Gets to the edge of the area, plays a lovely back heel. Robertson will keep it in towards the centre, goes towards Jota. Fizzes past him, and then it's eventually cleared by Fraser and Murphy up towards the halfway line. Canate with a big tackle, winning it back for Liverpool. Thiago centrally, there was a foul there by Murphy. The referee said play on because Liverpool still have it. Saint-Maximin is on the floor, but Liverpool continue. Ball whipped towards the edge of the 18-yard box. It goes out of play over on the far side, and it's away for a throw. Will Eddie Howe be crying injustice at half-time in that dressing room? Will he say it's only 2-1 because of the controversial nature of the first goal?
He's got to. He has to stay positive. He's got to give that positivity in the dressing room to his players. He can't go in at half-time ranting and raving.
Alexander-Arnold round the corner again, and Salah's dipping in behind. Across comes the defender, Lascelles, and nudges it out and away for a corner kick. Another one for Liverpool, who are so deadly from these set-piece situations. We've got about 20 seconds to go at the end of the first half. It's Liverpool 2, Newcastle United 1. A short one taken into Salah, sent back to Alexander-Arnold. High looping cross, which will be headed by Matip towards the far post, and Dubravka has had to back pedal, and it goes behind and away, eventually into the arms of the goalkeeper, who will clear. Liverpool 2, Newcastle 1 on TalkSport with WeBuyAnyCar.com. Hundreds of branches, usually only 15 minutes away. Find yours now. 2 minutes of added time at the end of the game. And remember, tomorrow morning when you wake up, by the way, the Game Day podcast will be available for you. Mickey and I are doing it here at Anfield tonight with Alex Crook. You'll be able to download that via your usual podcast provider, the TalkSport Game Day podcast. Search for it everywhere. It previews and reviews all of the action in the Premier League twice a week, on a Thursday night, Friday morning, and a Monday morning when you wake up. Here's Murphy down the right side for Newcastle United. We'll look back at that first half and think, what might have been? Saint-Maximin trying to trick his way into the box. He's tricking only himself at the moment. He's moved out to the wide right position, a low ball into the near post. There was a challenge there by Canate, and Hayden went down to ground. The ball goes back into the 18-yard box, and now Salah will run it clear from the edge of the area. It's up to Jota, tries to skip away from Lascelles. Free kick given. And I think Joel Linton's going to find himself in trouble as well. He does. That's a yellow card for Joel Linton, and a free kick to Liverpool just short of the centre circle.
Does that get looked at?
The penalty?
Is it a penalty?
I would have thought so.
I mean, Hayden, he's gone to ground. There was no contact with the ball. There was contact with the player. It's a lovely bit of play from Saint-Maximin over on the right-hand side. Got the better of Jordan Henderson. It's in the 6-yard area.
Got the ball, didn't he?
I don't know. You've got the camera in front of you, Sam. I don't know. I can't see.
Oh, I don't know. Should that be a penalty?
Well, these are the things
Eddie Howe
that
thinks it should be.
you're looking for. When you're at the bottom of the table, those decisions go against you. When you're at the top of the table, you get penalties. Now, I'm sat here, not as a Newcastle fan, obviously, but if there's contact there, Sam, and it's in the box, then it has to get looked at.
Adrian thinks it's a penalty. You think it's a penalty. I was in two minds when I saw it. The first replay, I thought he got the ball, actually. The second replay, I wasn't so sure. It looks like he's come through the back of the player. There's the half-time whistle anyway. Liverpool lost both the home games held on a Thursday last season to Chelsea and Sheffield United, but they don't look like losing this one. Newcastle went in front, but they're so bad with leads, you wouldn't let them walk your dog. Shelby surprised, then Salah and Jota scored for Liverpool, and as a result, at half-time, it's Liverpool 2, Newcastle 1. Well, talking of Jordan Henderson, the ex-Sunderland lad who got booed in that first half, he scored twice in a 6-0 win over Newcastle for Liverpool 8 years ago. Maybe you'll remind them of that. And Liverpool lead by 2-1. To be honest, the scoreline does not even give you half an indication as to how dominant Liverpool were in that first 45 minutes. They went behind to a John Joe Shelby goal. 2 goals in quick succession from first Jota and then from Mo Salah. Turned the game around, and it's Liverpool who lead going into the start of the second half, where we've had no changes. Liverpool in red shirts, red shorts and red socks, attacking the Cot away to our right hand side, which is tightly packed behind the goal that Dubravka is defending, and Newcastle United, the visitors this evening, all in light blue, attacking the Anfield Road end where their supporters are housed. Here's Thiago. I'll go for the 11s for you in just a second. He's just trying to hold off Hayden. The ball goes back in field to Matip. Matip strokes the ball down the right. Salah around the corner for Alexander-Arnold. Trent Alexander-Arnold, who tries to tuck it back into the path of Salah, but it's cleared away. So it's Alisson in goal for Liverpool. He'll have the ball now at his feet, being pressed by Saint-Maximin. The right back is Alexander-Arnold. Then it's Matip, Konate and Robertson. Henderson, Thiago and Oxlade-Chamberlain in centre midfield, with Salah, Jota and Mane up top for Liverpool. And for Newcastle United, who've just won the ball back on the halfway line and then given it away through Ryan Fraser, it is Dubravka in goal, Manquillo, Lascelles, Scher and Ritchie, who came on as a first half substitute. Murphy, Shelby, Hayden and Fraser behind Saint-Maximin and Joel Linton, who has been booked. He's on the pitch now and tucking the ball back into the path of Ritchie, then on to Fraser, and then back into the middle where it's helped clear by John Joe Shelby, who scored that opening goal. It bounces once on the chest of Ritchie, and he's down the left side into Saint-Maximin, the liveliest player in Newcastle blue. He switches it out towards the far side. Manquillo joins the attack. Further on down that right side, the ball is at the feet of Jacob Murphy. He moves into the angle of the penalty area, goes on the outside of Mane, tries to clip a cross in. It's rebounded, then comes back in towards the centre from the cross from Murphy, but it's too high for Saint-Maximin, and it's clutched from the sky by Alisson and cleared away. 2 minutes played at the start of the second half. You're listening to Talk Sport. Sam Matterface here high at Anfield alongside Mickey Gray.
I know where Newcastle have started the second half. Very positive, committing bodies forward. However long that lasts is a thing that we're going to have to wait and see. Well, I'm just counting the 6 Newcastle players in Liverpool's half right now. That's probably the first time in the whole of the game that they've done that. But look what happens, Sam. You know, they win the ball high up. They create half an opportunity. Saint-Maximin, a little half challenge on Alisson in that Liverpool goal. Yes, it was an easy clutch out of the sky for him, but you're losing 2-1. You're second from bottom.
There's Oxlade-Chamberlain going on the outside of Lascelles. He shrugs him off, puts the ball out of play and away for a corner. The bad news for Newcastle is that Liverpool are unbeaten in their last 99 Premier League games when ahead at half-time, and the last team to butt that trend were Eddie Howe and Bournemouth in December 2016. Maybe there's another comeback on the cards from Eddie and his team. 3 minutes gone in the second half. First corner of the second half to be taken by Trent Alexander-Arnold on the wide right position in front of the Cop, away to our right. It's dipped in towards the near post, headed into the air and away by Joel Linton. Saint-Maximin goes up for a header and loses out to Thiago. It goes wide to Alexander-Arnold. I'm not entirely sure what that was from Alexander-Arnold. He went to try and volley it back to his goalkeeper, I think, and he shanked it out of play on this near side, and Jurgen Klopp went absolutely balmy at him.
He did. Jurgen Klopp was waving his arms at him, going absolutely crazy. It was just an audacious pass, trying to play one of his centre-halves, when really he should have tried to bring the ball down and start another attack for Liverpool. But I think it's the way they've actually started the second half, Sam. They've been very scrappy in the first few minutes.
here on the left side. The ball collected by Ritchie on to Saint-Maximin, cut out by Alexander-Arnold, back into Salah, goes into Thiago, won by Hayden, repelled towards the edge of the 18-yard box, and Liverpool guide it back to their goalkeeper in Alisson. The bad news for Newcastle is that their defence usually gets worse as the game goes on. They've conceded 34 goals before today, which is the most they've ever conceded at this stage of a Premier League season, but worryingly 22 of them have come after half-time. Here is Salah, moving towards the edge of the area, looking to expose that, looking for Henderson, but Shelby dipped in, one intercepted and then cleared out towards the near side. When I say cleared, he cleared the pitch, out of play on this near side, away for a throw. Slightly disappointing from Shelby, who'd seen the run of Alan Saint-Maximin, who is box office, never scored more than 3 Premier League goals in a season, but he's always got something about him. He's a swashbuckler.
He is. He actually kept him in the Premier League last season, Sam, with some of the goals late on in games when he got himself back into the starting 11. And remember the one at Burnley? I covered the game for TalkSport. He was absolutely unplayable that
terrific, and he's got the ball now and he's running at Matip and then Konate, and Henderson is getting back to help out. He switches back inside, tries to take on Konate for a second time. He held his ground, the Frenchman, won the ball and then cleared it, and then found Alexander-Arnold, who looked for Mane. Across from the right fullback position came Manquillo to win it for Newcastle, and there is a bit more fight about Newcastle's second half. They were on the back foot for almost every single second of the first 45 minutes. A tackle over on the far side may have just injured Konate. Hayden going to ground and colliding with him. Konate just holding the front of his shin, the top of his knee, and he doesn't look particularly comfortable. Ibrahima Konate, only his 8th appearance of the season after signing for £35 million from Leipzig. Did he just do it as he ran?
It didn't really look too much, to be brutally honest with you. I mean, he's gone to ground, maybe it was the way he's landed.
As he went to ground, Hayden just caught the back of his foot, which just skewed his knee as he went to land. He might have just strained something there, Ibrahima Konate. The referee is going to give an uncontested drop ball. He's back on his feet again, moving gingerly, and Liverpool have possession again. 52 on the clock. TalkSport high up in the main stand at Anfield, looking down on the floodlit playing surface. Liverpool shooting from left to right, and it's with Mo Salah back to halfway. Oxlade-Chamberlain into Henderson. Henderson now under pressure from Shelby, plays it to the near side, collected by Salah, and Salah goes all the way back to Matip, who finds Konate, who seems to be moving better again, a little bit more fluidly. Plays the ball into Oxlade-Chamberlain, gets it back again, now onto Henderson. Henderson looks up, runs into a bit of a gap. There's space over on the far side if they can find Andy Robertson. They've declined to shove it out to him. Thiago wants to come centrally again instead, and on the centre circle it's picked up by Henderson. Henderson looking up, eyes darting, where can I pass the ball? Newcastle in a good shape though at the moment, and Liverpool can't exploit that. They go wide eventually to Robertson now, but his instinct to come in field sends the ball back to Oxlade-Chamberlain. They're in the middle of the Newcastle half, again playing it wide to Henderson, and it's all a little bit stale for Liverpool. They need to move the ball a little bit quicker, Mickey.
Yeah, they certainly do. They've got to come up with answers. You know, if you keep passing the ball around like this, Newcastle will be very happy in Eddie Howe, because his side are in a system where it's difficult to break down, and as we've just seen, they try and play it into Mane's feet. One of the centre halves can come out from the back and just clear his lines, but it's going to keep coming back because they haven't got that outlet, Newcastle.
Alexander-Arnold onto Henderson. Henderson into Diogo Jota. Jota turning it back to Henderson once again. They've moved a little bit further up the pitch. They've played it wide now for Salah. Salah's taken it out of the sky beautifully on the right hand side, then swiveled back infield, runs towards the angle of the penalty area, lays it off to Alexander-Arnold. He collides with Fraser, who wins the tackle and then wins a free kick right on the edge of the Newcastle box, and it is a Newcastle ball away to our right hand side. Still 0-0 between Chelsea and Everton over on TalkSport 2, and Chelsea in that first half had 81% possession, Adrian was telling us at the break. Wow. Still close to that now apparently, and they haven't really been able to break down Everton so far. It remains 0-0 over on TalkSport 2, which you can get if you ask your smart speaker to play TalkSport 2, or download our app and you can flick between the two stations.
I think I had a quick look, Sam. I don't know if you did as well, but I'm sure Liverpool were around about 74-76% as well. So you've got two dominant sides playing at home. You've got one side that are one goal ahead of Newcastle, and the other ones who can't get the ball in the back of the net. And that's what it's all about, that final bit of quality in that final third. And I don't think this has been a polished performance from Liverpool by any stretch of the imagination. I went down for a toilet break at half-time. I could hear some of the supporters. They were frustrated.
Oh, and Alisson has just been rushed by Murphy. He's given the ball away to Shelby. But now Liverpool picked it up, and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is darting forward. He's getting beyond Fraser, and Fraser took no chances, decided to take him out, and gives away a free kick and a yellow card as a result of that, Ryan Fraser.
Yeah. That's what you call taking one for the team from Ryan Fraser, because he knew that Oxlade-Chamberlain was getting away from him. He was homing in on that back line of Newcastle with runners either side of him, and he just had no intention of trying to win the ball whatsoever. It was just clip the back of his heels, and I think he knew that Mike Dean was going to be a yellow card there. But now what you've got is you've got Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson over the ball with a chance to put that football in the 18-yard area for Newcastle and cause them more problems.
77% possession for Liverpool so far. 12 shots on goal, 6 of which have been on target, 7 corners. Newcastle haven't had a corner yet. It remains 2-1 to Liverpool. Robertson leaves the ball for Alexander-Arnold to head the ball towards the far post, looking for Mane, who sends it back across the 6-yard box. It's kept by Dubravka and clutched into his chest and cleared away. Chelsea lead by a goal to nil at Stamford Bridge, and Mason Mount on the score sheet again. And that's a terrific record for Mason Mount. It is the 7th time he's scored his last 6 Premier League starts, and he was played in down the right hand side, ran to the edge of the 6-yard box, shot past the goalkeeper who couldn't stop it, and it is 1-0 to Chelsea. They found the breakthrough. Newcastle looking to get back on level terms here. Murphy shoots towards the far corner. It's narrowly wide of the right hand upright. There's still a little bit about Newcastle here on the counter-attack every now and again, on the break, offering a little bit more going forward than they did in the first half, that's for sure. And Liverpool just sort of wandered into a slumber.
They have. Yeah, it hasn't been quality from Liverpool in this second half so far. They've not got really much going. Yes, the free kick that came into the area and the Mane opportunity, which was saved very well by Dubravka, but it's Newcastle now who they're starting to commit a few more players forward. They're getting into better areas wide. Murphy creating an opportunity for himself on his weaker left foot, but Alisson, he had him creeping across to his right hand side. And I was just going to ask you, Sam, when did he pull the trick? When did he put Callum Wilson on? If you keep it at 2-1 and the pitch itself and the game stretches a little bit, it gives Callum Wilson the opportunity with the pace and the quality that he's got, they might sense something is in this game for them.
Free kick to Liverpool. Got some breaking news for you from Ipswich Town. I was with them last night in Barrow. They were dreadful, but they've appointed a new manager in the last few minutes. They've appointed Kieran McKenna, the assistant manager at Manchester United. First team coach under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and now Ralph Rangnick. Kieran McKenna is their new manager. Here is Robertson's free kick towards the far post, looking for Mane. It's over his head, takes a glance off Joel Linton, and it's out for a corner for Liverpool. Corner number 8. Kieran McKenna, the new manager of Ipswich Town. Absolutely zip experience in terms of managing a first team, a senior side. Good luck to him. He's got his work cut out. They signed 19 players in the summer. They've got a huge squad. His first job's going to be to sort that out. Corner to be taken on the near side. Alexander-Arnold, very good coach, very well qualified. Good luck to him. Here is Alexander-Arnold towards the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away, comes back to Salah, who hits it first time on the volley and skews it out of play over on the far side and out for a goal kick away to our right hand side.
Yeah, not the best effort from Mo Salah, to be honest with you, when it comes to him there. I mean, you try and take those first time when it gets cleared from a corner to the edge of the 18-yard area. You either get it right or wrong. Well, Mo Salah on this occasion got it completely wrong. The chances they've created in the second half, Liverpool, have been pretty poor. Newcastle have maybe riled them a little bit. They've started to create a couple of half opportunities themselves. Well, as I said before, Sam, and I didn't quite get to finish when I was on my toilet break at half-time. They weren't happy.
Careful what you say.
I know, yeah. They weren't very happy with the Liverpool supporters, and I don't think they were happy with the performance.
That's definitely ended up on Clips of the Week. I didn't get to finish my toilet break at half-time. Quick, someone send that into H&J now. It's Ryan Fraser on the near side. Up to Sam Maximan. Finds Hayden's joining the attack. Newcastle coming forward, but Liverpool is shutting them out. Matip and Konate managed to get it clear. Everton have equalised at Stamford Bridge over on Talk Sport 2. I didn't quite hear who the goal scorer was. It was Branthwaite who scored. Well, that's an amazing turn of events for Rafa Benitez, but continues to underscore Chelsea's problem with conceding goals. They conceded just 8 goals in the first 20 games of the season. They've now conceded 11 in the subsequent 6. Ball played out towards the right. Murphy miscontrols, goes out of play, gives Liverpool the advantage. They lead by 2 goals to 1. We've just hit the hour mark. The game went into a little bit of a lull, it must be said, but Alexander-Arnold is trying to get down the right now, just overhit the ball to Salah. It's clipped out of play on this near side rather simply by Lascelles, and it's away for a Liverpool throw. They need to just up the ante, up the tempo, increase the intensity and put Newcastle to the sword once again. A lot of games expected to take place over the next couple of weeks, although remember that we've lost so many already for the weekend that we were supposed to have in the Premier League. No Manchester United Brighton, that's off at 12:30 on Saturday. No Southampton Brentford, no Watford Palace, no West Ham Norwich, no Everton Leicester, which was due on Sunday on TalkSport. All 5 of those games have been postponed because of COVID-19 problems, and they may not be the last. We'll keep you updated. Whatever happens in the Premier League, whatever news is breaking, the best place to be is with TalkSport on a standout headline-making Jim White and Simon Jordan show from 10 o'clock every single morning. Those 2 boys going at it again this morning and bringing you all the breaking news as it happened. And Andy Goldstein at drive time at 4 o'clock every day as well. The ball cleared away from inside the 18-yard box away to our right by Dubravka up over the halfway line, picked up by Henderson, who just nudges it back to Matip, and Liverpool look to build again. Henderson. Oxlade-Chamberlain takes over down the right side, a couple of steps in from the touchline, forward onto Mane in the right wing position, picked up by Alexander-Arnold, then Henderson, then centrally is Thiago, just in front of the centre circle. Good ball into Oxlade-Chamberlain. Can he spin here? No, because Joel Linton is sticking to his task well. Across from Alexander-Arnold, who's wandered into midfield. The ball swept wide to Robertson. Robertson now trying to come infield, and Jota's gone on the outside. It's a lovely intelligent ball into Mane, who tries to tug it back in towards the path of Robertson, but it's cut out by the defender and put behind for a corner. Mickey Gray.
Great play from Robertson over on the left-hand side. Lovely reverse pass into Mane, and he tried to actually play the ball back to him again, Mane, with his weaker foot, and it nearly came off for them. But that's the sort of movement that you expect from these Liverpool players. I think they've been a little bit static when they've come out from half-time. They've got to keep that movement going. They've got to work this back line of Newcastle around so they get their heads turning a little bit, and they've got to start to break those lines down, because at the minute it's not been happening. They've been going across the pitch from left to right, but nothing coming at the end of it. But that was a really good move.
Yep, but it was offside, and the corner doesn't eventually get given. It's a goal kick or a free kick away to our right for offside against Mane, who's chasing again, because the kick upfield by Dubravka has come straight back towards the Newcastle goal. Mane's won it and then given it to Jota, who's harassed by Murphy. The ball breaks to halfway, and Sir Maximo's trying to turn, plays it down the right, and a chance to come forward for Murphy into the centre, looking for Fraser, and Alexander-Arnold gets there just ahead of the Scot and sweeps the ball away. There's appeals from the Newcastle fans that should have been a penalty. Mickey Gray even was on his feet. Yes, former Sunderland fullback Mickey Gray was appealing for a Newcastle penalty.
I'm shocked, I really am, because at what point does Ryan Fraser think to himself, I'm going to go to ground here?
Mane onto Robertson at the other end, clipping the ball into the penalty area, away by Joel Linton, comes back out to Henderson, who's going to hit it, blocked by Shelvey, and it comes back out to Matip, who comes forward again. A couple of players in an offside position. Liverpool got to be careful here. Salah's breaking down the right. Henderson tries to chip it forward. It's blocked by Cher, comes back to Alexander-Arnold, and then Salah can't go for it because he knows it's an offside position. Go back to the incident where you thought there might have been a penalty shot.
Well, he works it really well down the right-hand side. Sir Maximin played in, I think it was Hayden. Lovely first time ball into the 18-yard area. Then it's a foot race between Fraser and I think Trent Alexander-Arnold. They go to ground, and it is their contact with that ball.
Well, he actually makes contact with Fraser to
And
make
then the
contact with the ball. That's a penalty, isn't it?
Well, Sam, I mean, you have to understand that Ryan Fraser in that situation is not going to go to ground unless there's contact. He's 1v1 with Allison because he's got the right side of Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's a really good play from Newcastle. They work it well down the right-hand side, and when that ball comes into the area, as a forward player, you're not thinking to yourself, I'll wait for the contact and go down. You're thinking to yourself, I'll take one touch out my feet and then I'll stick it in the back of the net. There's contact there. Now, if Trent, as you just mentioned it there yourself, if Trent doesn't make that challenge on Fraser's right foot before he actually wins the ball, he can't win the ball. It's impossible from behind him. It has to be a penalty.
Well, he's tackling from behind, really, isn't he? Now, does he make contact with the player first? He does, and then gets the ball.
The only thing that I think is in Trent Alexander-Arnold's favour there is Fraser doesn't make contact with the ball. If he makes contact with the ball and then the contact comes towards his ankle of Trent Alexander-Arnold, then Mike Dean has got to go to VAR and he's got a huge decision to make. I think Newcastle have got 2 cases for penalties in this game.
Well, Eddie Howe is certainly not getting the rub of the green. Alan Saint-Maximin is coming over to the near touchline. He's hobbling off. I don't think he's going to be able to continue for much longer. Callum Wilson is going to come on, I think, in his stead. And Mike Dean actually has just turned to John Joe Shelby, who's asked the question, and he said he got the ball.
What I can't understand is, Sam, sorry, I was probably looking at the screen at the time, but how come 4 or 5 Newcastle players are not running up to the referee and saying it's a penalty? Or Ryan Fraser himself, run to the referee and just say, can I ask you the question, can you have a look at VAR because he's made contact with my ankle?
Well, Fraser did say something to the referee. Not much came of it. And then obviously Sam Maximin was getting some treatment, so it sort of cooled down. We saw several replays of it. It's another controversial moment.
Sam, if you don't ask the question, especially at places like Anfield, if you don't ask the question, you're not going to get anything.
Salah into Oxlade-Chamberlain, who fires across through the middle of the 6-yard box, but it's over the top of the crossbar, or goes drifting over the crossbar and in towards the supporters in the Cop away to our right-hand side. The score is Liverpool 2, Newcastle United 1. On TalkSport with Now, and don't forget with the Now Sports Day membership you can stream all the Sky Sports action, including Leeds versus Arsenal, live this Saturday for just $9.99 without a contract. Search Now Sports. This is TalkSport. Sam Motherface and Mickey Gray in the studio, and busy day up and down the country. Of course, we lost a key fixture tonight. Leicester was supposed to be playing Tottenham Hotspur this evening. That game was postponed. Here come Liverpool down the left-hand side. So Maximin is back on the field of play. Has been fouled over on the far touchline by Mane. It stops Jota being able to escape. It's been pulled back as a result of that. I was just about to say that 400 sandwich packs prepared for tonight's game between Leicester and Tottenham have been donated to charities in Leicester to prevent the food from going to waste. Leicester have tweeted that out, making sure that they make the most of a bad situation.
Did you just see St Maximin keeping the ball up and juggling it there for 3 or 4 times, and about 30 seconds before that he was walking off the pitch because he was injured?
Are you suggesting that he wasn't as badly hurt as he was maybe making out?
Certain things you see and that wind you up as a fan, as a pundit like we are at the moment. Stay out there. If you can play, you play.
Oxlade-Chamberlain. Well, he's on the field of play at the moment. Oxlade-Chamberlain is trying to get beyond Joel Linton, who again is putting a shift for the team. There's a fight between Oxlade-Chamberlain and Joel Linton for the ball, which has gone the way of the Newcastle midfielder, and the free kick has been given just left of the edge of the 18-yard box. Jason Tindall and Eddie Howe in close conversation, deciding what to do next. Where do we go? Who should we bring on? Callum Wilson keeps standing up, showing that he's available. Any chance of you putting me on, Gaffer? Is that a possibility? I'm ready, if required. Stretching out, just doing the last few bits of his warm-up before he hopes he will be called upon. Ball is cleared over the halfway line by Newcastle. It breaks off Shelby's head to Ritchie, clip forward, looking for the run of Saint-Maximin, headed away by Matip. Fraser is going forward again. Henderson has brought him down, and now the free kick has been given in Newcastle's favour, and a yellow card has been given to Jordan Henderson. That'll please the Newcastle United supporters.
Yeah, right in front of the Geordies as well, but it was good play again from Fraser, who's been really lively. Second half, he's came out, just talked about the penalty decision. I'm sure that's going to be a talking point at the end of this game, but again, a drive and run gets the right side of Jordan Henderson, and once he feels that contact, he goes to ground. I mean, this isn't a great position for somebody like John Joe Shelby.
Well, Fabian Schär is there as well, and he's only just come back into the team under Eddie Howe after being left out for most of the season, but he's got a bit of a hammer of a free kick on him as well. Allison's not happy about the arrangement of the wall. Shelby and Schär are discussing it. It'll be one of those two to strike it. It's just left of centre, 6 yards outside the box. It's Shelby towards the far corner, and Allison went up, didn't get near it. The ball went whistling past the post and into the Newcastle fans. It was very close.
What an effort. What an effort from John Joe Shelby. I mean, I'm just looking down to my left now, Sam. They can sense something, these Geordie fans. They really can, because it hasn't been a great performance, certainly in the second half from Liverpool. They're going to make changes. And I understand why they're making changes, because the final pass or the final ball into that 18-yard area has been very poor, and Newcastle have sensed it.
Alexander-Arnold takes it on for Liverpool though as they come forward down the right with Salah. Alexander-Arnold's delivery flicked on by Jota, eludes Mane, goes out on the far side. It's a Newcastle United throw. Currently Liverpool 2, Newcastle 1. Here are the latest odds from Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage. You can back Liverpool to win at 12-1 on, the draw at 13-1, or you can back Newcastle to win at 100-1. That odds update is thanks to Betfair, where you can get no cash out suspensions on match odds and over under goal markets on football. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org. This is TalkSport. We are football. We'll bring you as many matches as we can over the festive period. If they're on, they'll be on TalkSport. The ball is over on the far side. It's thrown in by Newcastle, given straight to Henderson, into Salah, taken on by Oxlade-Chamberlain, half cleared by the defender, comes back via Alexander-Arnold. Oxlade-Chamberlain continues his run to the right wing position, looking for Salah at the near post. Didn't gamble, Salah.
He didn't. Stood still, very static. Normally a man who's always on the move, Mo Salah. He started the move. Oxlade-Chamberlain puts a decent ball into the area, but that's meat and drink for somebody like Salah, just for a little flick with the outside of his left foot towards that Newcastle goal. And again, I'll go back to Newcastle. The more this game goes on, yes, they haven't really created too many opportunities, but they are getting closer.
Mane taking on the defender Manquillo, and Murphy goes back into central midfield, and Thiago. Two changes in the offing for Liverpool. They're going to bring on Firmino for a first appearance in a while. Here is Salah trying to jig into the area, left-footed ball towards the far corner. The ooh from the crowd didn't really warrant the effort. The effort was miles away from goal. It took a little deflection and goes out for a corner, but it was nowhere near the goal away to our right-hand side. It's out for a corner. Still 1-1 Chelsea against Everton over on TalkSport 2. Firmino and Keita about to come on. Off comes Mo Salah to be replaced by Roberto Firmino.
Yeah, I thought Jota and Oxlade-Chamberlain might have been two players that were actually leaving the field. But Mo Salah, yes, he's got himself on the score sheet. His record stands above everybody, really, and he's an outstanding player. But Jurgen Klopp knows throughout this Christmas period he's going to have to rotate his squad. He's going to give players a rest whenever he gets the opportunity. And then Oxlade-Chamberlain is the other player that's coming off, and Naby Keita. And maybe Jurgen Klopp's had a look at the way this second half's gone and thought, I need somebody who can just sit in front of my back line just to shore things up a little bit.
Callum Wilson's about to come on as well, but he won't come on before this corner is taken. Robertson's taken it short, then got round the back into the penalty area, and Saint-Maximin has kicked it behind away for a second successive corner for Liverpool. Firmino not featured since the Atletico Madrid game on the 3rd of November because of a hamstring injury. Well over a month out now for the Brazilian, who's back in the team now. and so is Keita. Ball in from the left-hand side, aimed in towards Matip, comes up on towards Firmino, couldn't react quick enough, and it ends up hitting the Brazilian and going behind and away for a goal kick to Newcastle United. That would have been some introduction for Roberto Firmino.
It certainly would. I don't think he really knew too much about it, Sam, didn't he? I think he was just kind of ricocheted off his body, went over a couple of heads, nice ball into the area. But normally, there's another sign as well, normally when you look down at Jurgen Klopp, he's moving around as much as the players do. I think I've seen it on a couple of occasions where he had a go at Trent in the first half, he was waving his arms around. I think he's a little bit frustrated with his performance tonight.
Here's the change for Newcastle United then, and Callum Wilson about to come on. Oh no, they're still not going to make it. How long have they been trying to make this substitution for? Throwing on the far side is with Liverpool. Tossed back down towards Canate. Alisson doesn't control it particularly well, but manages to play out to Matip, who immediately is rushed by Hayden. He beats him, swivels away, plays it into midfield. Now Mane picks it up, plays it out wide right. Alexander-Arnold tries to keep it in, takes it down the right side, produces a cross, and it's cleared away by Newcastle. Rather timid clearance, picked up now by Keita, looks for the return ball from Jota, over elaborate from Jota, didn't find him with the pass, they've won it back. Firmino causing problems, the ball runs loose in midfield and Newcastle have it again, stopped by Manquillo before the arrival of Robertson. The ball's worked wide, it's turned over, and now they're a man light, and there's a problem here over on the far side for St. Maximin, who's gone down and asked to be substituted. Picked up now by Henderson, who's 10 yards from the edge of the D, plays it square to the left where it's picked up by Thiago. Thiago moves forward, he's got Alexander-Arnold on the right hand side, chooses him now, he gives it back to Henderson, and then it's infield to Thiago, who just jumps over the ball, plays it left, collected by Robertson, and then back infield it goes to Thiago again, and now it's Henderson clipping it forward into Firmino, is immediately shackled by Cher on the edge of the D, and Newcastle half repel it. Jota takes over. Now Alexander-Arnold, again, it's not quick enough, or there's not enough spread to the play. They need to get it wider and sharper, at more speed, to just try and move those two lines of four that Newcastle have around a bit more. Here's Jota, not a great header. It was in a bit of space as well, and it's cleared away by Newcastle to the halfway line. Mickey Gray.
For a side that as good as they are, and Liverpool are one of the top sides, not just in the Premier League but in Europe, they go through spells of games where it's really frustrating, and we can see it from up here, Sam, and you just touched on it there. Get the ball wide, give these wide players an opportunity of a 1v1 situation.
Jota and Keita combining in the 18-yard box away to our right. Referee says play on after Joe Linton goes down. It's stabbed into the middle of the box by Alexander-Arnold. Joe Linton trying to get it clear. Shelby helps it further wide. Fraser's just trying to push it forward. St. Maximin, who wanted to be substituted just a minute ago, has taken the ball out of the sky. Canate's then returned it. Brilliant piece of skill to keep it on the near touchline, and Liverpool urged to go forward. 77 on the clock. You're listening to Talk Sport, and it's Liverpool 2, Newcastle United 1. All the goals coming in the first half. It's been a scrappy second half. A much tougher second half for Liverpool, who were relentless in that first 45. We're waiting for the substitute, Callum Wilson, to come on. We've been waiting for ages to see Callum Wilson. He'd be standing there getting cold. Well, it's not that cold really, to be honest with you. This is probably fine. Did an extensive warm-up, might need to do another one before he comes on the field of play. Robertson trying to keep it in over on the far side, it's smuggled behind. Now the corner will give an opportunity for Alan St. Maximin to just hobble off on the near side. He's so injured, he's so hurt, isn't he? Look at him, poor fellow.
Sam, serious question, how do you manage somebody like him? Because as brilliant he is when he's on song, and he's a match winner, and he's a superstar for Newcastle in their team, but when things aren't going well for him, he's one of the first players that he looks to the bench as if he wants to come off the field. Now, I'm not saying he's not injured, he looks like he is, he's limping off.
If he's injured, right, and fair play to him, if he's injured, then by all means tell the bench that you're injured. Don't then get up and start trying to run around again and make it even worse.
And then we talked about the juggling after his first. There's a corner just coming in here which is just being cleared, but you go and pick the ball up, you start juggling with the ball, and then the next time the ball comes to you, take a little bit of a knock on your knee. you start to then look to the bench.
Here's Keita from distance, slapping the ball forward, and then from 30 yards out he misses the target by quite some distance. Sorry, Nicky.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is you can't carry players like that. Look, when you're at the top of the table and you're winning every single week, they're the best players since sliced bread. They're wonderful to watch and they're brilliant on the eye.
And he's a brilliant impact player, and he causes loads of problems for the opposition.
But when you're at the bottom of the table, you can't carry players like that. You just can't. They don't work hard enough for the team in and out of play.
And you also can't afford him to get even more injured. If he might have just tweaked something, you don't want him to make that worse by messing around with the ball or jumping into another challenge when it's unnecessary for him to do so.
Well, he's a super talent. There's no argument about that. When he's on the ball, he excites supporters. He gets you off your seat. But those are the times where you just think to yourself, I need him in my team, but what maximum am I going to get today? You can't ask a question like that as a manager. You've got to know what you're getting from your player.
Wilson trying to win the ball in between Konate and Matip, manages to get it clear Liverpool up towards the halfway line, picked up by Shelby ahead of Keita, and then sent all the way back to the goalkeeper. Firmino on here, forward by Alexander-Arnold. Jota, it's before from Cher, he's given the ball away to Keita. Keita running into space, produces a pass for Mane. Mane in behind, goalkeeper makes a good save down to his right and prods the ball out into a right full-back position. It wasn't a shot really, it sort of hit Mane more than anything else, went towards goal, and Dubravka with a strong hand managed to shovel it out towards the far side.
Yeah, that's probably as close as we've come in the second 45 minutes.
Jota picking it up and spinning towards the edge of the penalty area, pokes it out towards Firmino, into the centre it goes, comes back to Jota, hits it, it's repelled by the goalkeeper. I think it hit his legs, he managed to just about get enough on it to stop Jota from getting a second goal, and Liverpool taking a 3-1 lead.
Super effort, but again it's Newcastle not clearing the lines quick enough. The ball's bouncing around in the 6-yard area, they don't clear their lines, and there's 3 or 4 Liverpool players just waiting for the ball just to land to the feet. This time Jota, it's more of a toe poke really, and he just gets his strike away. Should do better, he's got a lot more time than probably he thinks. Newcastle have just got to take a deep breath at the moment. They're panicking a little bit when really they shouldn't be, because this game is open, it's stretched. They have to try and get Callum Wilson into this game as quick as they possibly can.
Well, there's only 8.5 minutes to play on Talk Sport, and it's full time in the game at Chelsea. It's finished 1-1. Chelsea have dropped more points, which is encouragement for Liverpool to go on and ensure that they get all 3 points tonight and extend their lead over Thomas Tuchel's men, who are missing Lukaku, Callum Hudson-Odoi and Werner tonight. They're missing them for a while. Here is Thiago in towards the edge of the D, getting it back towards Thiago is Keita. Wasn't precise enough with his pass, comes back out to Henderson, edge of the area, threatens to shoot, plays it wide instead to Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold back to Henderson, his cross is deep towards the far post, and up goes Firmino. It's just too heavy for him, goes over his head and runs into the right full-back position where Newcastle look to clear. Firmino putting pressure on Murphy, goes behind the way for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. 8 minutes to go before the end of the match. It's Liverpool 2, Newcastle 1, Chelsea 1, Everton 1. Bad result that for Thomas Tuchel. You'll be unhappy or say. 03717 333 is the number to call if you want to get in touch and have a word with Jamie O'Hara and Dean Saunders tonight on air from 10 o'clock. You're listening to TalkSport. It's Liverpool 2, Newcastle 1 on TalkSport with WeBuyAnyCar.com. Hundreds of branches, usually only 15 minutes away. Find yours now. Here's Mickey Gray.
Newcastle's problem over the last few minutes is giving the ball away at the edge of their own 18-yard area by trying to overplay. If you bring a player on like Callum Wilson, then you bring him on to stretch the pitch. Get it wide to your full-backs and just forget about playing through midfield. Just get it forward. Make the pitch as big as you possibly can and give Callum Wilson the opportunity of a foot race against Matip and Konate. He's not got himself into the game yet, Callum Wilson, because the service hasn't went up to him. So he's probably a little bit frustrated. He was waiting on the touchline for about 10 minutes trying to get into the game. Now, as soon as he comes onto the field, he wants a quick touch of that ball whenever he gets the chance. He's still waiting for his first touch, I think.
It was always going to be tough for Newcastle tonight. Liverpool before this evening had lost just one of their last 26 Premier League games, but if things had been different, decisions had gone slightly differently, a couple of controversial decisions had gone their way rather than Liverpool's, then things might have been different here tonight. They might have nicked a point.
Absolutely.
Keita back to Firmino, on halfway. Because Liverpool have not been at their best, especially in this second half. Out to the left in Robertson. His cross to Keita is miscontrolled by the midfielder, and then Newcastle giving it away so cheaply. Keita finding Jota, edge of the area, sends it back centrally to Mane, who air kicks. He's getting casual now, and that sort of spread amongst the team, really, hasn't it? I mean, that sort of sums up how they've been in this second half. Far too lackadaisical. I mean, he went to kick the ball from a standing position and completely air kicked it, Sadio Mane, who's won it again now. Keita onto Jota, doesn't come back to him, and then a chip from Mane. Keita from about 25 yards out goes straight into the gloves of Dubravka.
That was a good effort from Keita. Quick thinking. Ball came back to him after another mistake. Saw the goalkeeper off his line.
Playing so narrow though, Keita trying to get into the central area, and Thiago comes across. Keita, Mane, Firmino and Jota are all occupying the same space,
which you didn't see in the first half, because the pitch was long, and they were stretching it, they were making the pitch really wide.
So congested on the edge of the box. It's about, you could throw a blanket over about 9 players, 4 of them in red, 5 of them in blue. Ball picked up on this near side. Great touch by Wilson, who's trying to get the better of Matic, who's just all over him. Gives away the free kick. Wilson's up for the fight. Pushes away one red shirt, then another one. And the free kick has been given to Newcastle United. There's still hope for them, you know, with 5 minutes to go.
Like that, there's not.
Oh, what a dreadful free kick.
That's just ludicrous. It's Fabian Schär, I think. You know, they win a free kick in the halfway line. Settle your team down. You've been given the ball away. He sees Alisson off his line and tries to score from his own half. It's ridiculous.
Well, Firmino's been chopped now by Hayden. His 150th league appearance for Newcastle, and he gets a yellow card. Well, someone had to buy him a card for that, didn't they? Might as well be Mike Dean. 4 minutes to go.
Well, Sam, if I have to do a comparison of the games that I saw last night and tonight, of the two sides that I think can go on and win the Premier League, there's no comparison. From start to finish, Manchester City, they wore Leeds United down from that first whistle till the last whistle. Liverpool maybe at times did it in the first half, but this second half performance, it sends a message to everybody. You know, the rest of the Premier League, when you're coming up against Liverpool, look, they've got Tottenham next, and then...
Oh, brilliant, what an effort! Alexander-Arnold from the edge of the box slams it in. He received it just left of the area. It came across his body onto his right foot, and he smashed it into the top corner to ensure that Liverpool's nerves will no longer jangle, and they take home all 3 points. It's 3-1 to the home side, and Trent Alexander-Arnold has rattled it in.
Wow, what an outstanding finish from Trent Alexander-Arnold. Okay, maybe I should just keep my mouth shut then, but this goal, if you think about it, has come from that audacious strike from Schär in his own half. Liverpool win the ball back. Alisson then plays it up into Newcastle's half. They keep the ball alive, Liverpool, and that is the outcome. Is Trent Alexander-Arnold getting the ball out of his feet and rifling one into the top corner. I mean, we saw Kevin De Bruyne's last night, which was 70 mile an hour, which was unstoppable. I think we've just seen another one. Absolutely unbelievable strike from Trent Alexander-Arnold.
3-1 to Liverpool, and Trent Alexander-Arnold has the goal. Here's Jota into the centre, flicked into the air by Manquillo's backpedaling. It's collected by Dubravka, and it's cleared away. Liverpool 3, Newcastle 1, 2.5 minutes to go on TalkSport. There has been a change. The finisher, Joe Willock, has come on, although unfortunately as soon as he came onto the pitch it was finished because Alexander-Arnold slammed it in past Dubravka. What a finish it was. What a great shot it was from Trent Alexander-Arnold. Hasn't scored too many goals, only his second of the season. 7 assists in his last 9 before today, but not a bad contribution. Here's Jota coming forward onto Keita. Keita edge of the area, trying to get a shot away, bounces off the defender, and then again wandered into trouble. Firmino's picked it up now. Jota's to his right, goes back to Alexander-Arnold's encouraged to shoot, goes to Henderson, then on to Thiago. Thiago clips it forward, Terrible ball, goes straight out, playing away for a goal. Keeper Liverpool's job's done now. They're going to win this 3-1. Newcastle will scream injustice for a couple of errors that Mike Dean may or may not have made, but ultimately, once again, they're going to come away with nothing. They're going to find themselves in a terrible position when it comes to January, because their next few fixtures are really tough. Manchester City, they ain't getting anything from that. Manchester United, they're probably not going to get anything from that. Everton have just drawn away at Chelsea. I'm surprised if they got anything from that.
Difficult times at Newcastle. I think everybody got excited when the takeover was done and finalised. And everybody was thinking about the top world-class managers were going to walk through the door at Newcastle, and all the top world-class players were going to go to St James's Park. I think it's going to be a difficult window, I really do, Sam, to bring in the type of players that Newcastle need to actually even put up a fight in the second half of the Premier League season, to stay in the Premier League.
Kieran Trippier, one that we understand on TalkSport yesterday. Alex Crook breaking that on the Jim White and Simon Jordan show, that he is close to a transfer to Newcastle United. Kieran Trippier. Eddie Howe says he's going to have to work with the players that he's got. Well, if that's the case, then they can stare at relegation, I'm afraid. Here's Milner, who's just come on as a substitute to replace Thiago. As we go into the 90th minute of the game, there'll be 4 added minutes at the end of the match. Liverpool lead by 3 goals to 1. Jota, Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold with the goals. Keita back to Henderson, down the right for Alexander-Arnold. Mane's got his hand up over on the far side. He's chasing the ball. He'll get the ball. Firmino drifts into a middle position looking for Jota. And again, Mane didn't really do enough with it. He was surrounded by Murphy over on the far side. Hounded out of possession.
When you look at the performance all around, Sam, I think the word that springs to mind is enough. They've just done enough to win the game, and I think they knew that they were coming up against a side like Newcastle, who they haven't got a lot of confidence. They probably came into it full of confidence. Liverpool, I'm talking about now, thinking that they were just going to breeze past them. I think all of us actually sat here probably thought exactly the same thing. But I think what I would say is they showed a lot more fight in the second half, and I think Eddie Howe will be pleased with that moving forward.
Yeah, but we said at the beginning of the game it would be a miracle if they come out with anything from the match. It would be a miracle if they avoid a hiding. Well, they've ended up losing 3-1, and Liverpool haven't played very well. So that just shows you how far Newcastle are away. Here's Robertson into the centre, comes back towards Keita. Mane hits it, breaks through the centre of the box for Alexander-Arnold, and then chops back on his left foot. He's crossed towards the far post. He's headed back across the face of goal. Mane tries to keep it alive. He can't. Milner was threatening to hit it. He didn't. Henderson got there first. He probably should have left it for Milner. He goes wide towards the left anyway. And Liverpool happy to just toy with Newcastle United now. They're in the second of 4 added minutes at the end of the 90. Liverpool bound to become the first team in history to register 2,000 top division wins in English football. That's an honour that nobody else has got. And they're also going to make it 10 games unbeaten in the Premier League against Newcastle. Haven't beaten the Reds now for 6 years. Here is, it might be another 6 years before they get the chance to beat them. Here is Jota. Across goes Mane, collides with Willock. The ball breaks towards the far side. He scored an equalising goal in the 5th minute of stoppage time here last season, Joe Willock, but he's hardly been able to get into the game. As soon as he walked onto the pitch, Alexander-Arnold was slamming in the 3rd Liverpool goal. And Liverpool have got interesting fixtures, possibly a game with Tottenham Hotspur away on Sunday, Leicester possibly in the EFL Cup quarter-final next week, Leeds at home, then Leicester away as well. That Leeds game at home is on Boxing Day, scheduled to be at 12:30, live on TalkSport, part of game day as Boxing Day kicks off in style. We always love a bit of festive football on Boxing Day, don't we?
Yes, we do.
And we will keep you updated with the schedule as it changes and moves here on TalkSport. Wherever you are, make sure you use our app, our brand new app. Dubravka clearing upfield over the head of Joel Linton. Joel Matip hens it, helps it on towards the middle of the Newcastle half. We played nearly 4 minutes of added time at the end of the 90. Liverpool getting all 3 points at home once again. and extending their lead over third place Chelsea, who have dropped points tonight, 1-1 away at home to Everton, which is a surprise result, bearing in mind the problems that Rafa Benitez's team have had, and that banner that was unfurled just before kick-off by the Everton support. Henderson away, Alexander-Arnold forward, onto Firmino, then up by Henderson looking for Mane, headed away by Manquillo, but Mane's going to get there, and then Murphy comes across, manages to get hold of it, and surely that's the end of the game now. Mike Dean puts the whistle to his lips, blows the full-time whistle, and Liverpool's unrelenting pursuit of the lead as Manchester City continues as they beat Newcastle United, who, if they aren't in the Championship next season, would have achieved something truly miraculous. The worst defence in the league, the worst away team in the league, and the worst possible festive fixture list. And it starts with a defeat at Liverpool by 3-1. In truth, if things had been different, they may have actually got something out of the game, because Liverpool weren't that great tonight, but they did enough to get over the line. And key decisions went against Newcastle in that first 45 minutes. They might cry injustice, they might cry foul of Mike Dean's whistle, but ultimately Liverpool were worthy winners. 3 points go to the Reds. They continue their march towards the top of the table once again. They've beaten Newcastle at Anfield by 3-1.